Good morning. This is day 3 of the day 5 challenge. Last night it absolutely wanged it down from about 6 o'clock right the way through to something like 4 o'clock in the morning. And just when you thought it was running hard, it turned it up a gear, and then again and again and again. Fortunately, my shelter held up. I think I had a few drips on me from certain places, but even that dissipated and stopped. So I'm really happy with my shelter. You wouldn't think so many overlapping leaves would be effective, but they are. I didn't bother getting a fire going at all last night. I've got firewood protected under here, lots and lots of it, and some at the back, but I didn't bother with the firewood because I had nothing to cook, and there's firewood around, but there's not an abundance of decent dead standing firewood. So I figured I'd keep that until I've caught something, and then I can cook it and then have the wood available rather than just burning it for the sake of it. That meant I slept through the night entirely without the fire, without any heat and without any smoke and without any light. So I've done it before a few years back, but yeah, I wasn't concerned, I wasn't scared. The animals and insects, they came right up close to me because they didn't really know I was there. So I had crickets and lizards sort of making sounds around me. But it was fine because they were my alarm bells. If anything else bigger came along, they'd stop. Um, actually feel quite rested. First night, having to get up and change the firewood over and keep the fire going was quite interrupted to sleep quite a lot. But last night, apart from sleeping on the cooker beams from or the stems, and having to change position every now and then, I had quite a good sleep, to be fair. Time now is just going 7. I've been up since 6, just sorting myself out a little bit. Going to take my malaria tablets now. Going to go have some water and then go replenish my water, and then make a plan for the day. And there we are. So day 3, all good so far. Feeling really confident and really strong. Got 2 more days to go. So happy days. Out here, the resources available to you are phenomenal, if you know what to look for. So there's this thing here which is called the Mukra. Big, flat, wide leaves, and then really long, thin stems with no nodes on them. So these can be split down into sections. I believe they split each stem down to 8 sections and remove the inner core, the pith. The outer section is the bit they keep, and they need 30 of those to make a backpack or a basket weave backpack. Similar to things that I've made back home. I haven't seen how they make it, although I did see them starting to prepare some, but we had to head out sadly. So for now, I'm just going to grab the flat leaves and use them to patch up anywhere that's leaking in my shelter at the moment, just so that if it does rain again, those water droplets are going to run off somewhere else. But yeah, just thought I'd show you those. Brought the leaves back. That's the shelter as it stands at the moment. There's a few little patches where it was leaking inside, so I brought the Mukra leaves in and put them in such a way that the water should run down towards this direction here. There wasn't a lot coming through, to be fair, so this is just to kind of help stop those little drips that were coming through, which were quite cold during the night. Time's now 10 past 8. I've gathered a little bit more firewood. I've got to go and have a little look for some bush rope, and then make a plan for the rest of the day. I think what I might do is, because I've seen quite a few manacle palms, is I might go grab myself a manacle palm and eat the heart of the palm, just to get some carbs in me. Not too fussed about eating, because I can go 5 days without eating without a problem, to be fair. But the water, I'm taking plenty of fluids in. I'm not here to eat the rainforest, I'm here to just experience it, which I'm doing. I think I'm doing it wonderfully, without disrupting it far too much. I'm observing little things here and there, insect and animal behaviours. Just find it fascinating personally. So to be immersed in this and to be part of it, it's just absolutely amazing. I think Anders has done a fantastic job putting all this together. Long may it continue. Yeah, for now, see ya. Oh yeah, so off the Mukra leaf, which I used to thatch the underneath the underside of my shelter thatching. I have taken the stems, and from these stems I have split them down into 8 pieces like that with the pith, and then using the machete again I've then gone down and stripped them down into these very fine, fairly uniform strips. I may try and make a basket or something that's involved in weaving. Just seems a shame to waste the materials really. So I've got a bit more to do. Hopefully I'll end up with about 30 odd, and then I'll see what I can make, whether it turns into a plate or a very shallow basket or whatever, I don't know. Haven't used this material before, so I'd be curious to see how it behaves, but didn't want to waste it, so I thought I'd at least go through the process of splitting it down. I'll take it down a bit finer. Much like spruce roots or conifer roots, if it starts splitting off to one side, you pull the thicker side, or aim towards the thicker side a bit more, and it brings it back to the centre. So, done. And now to remove the inner pith, I'm just going to use my machete and my thumb. So I'm not actually cutting, I'm just pulling this and drawing it through, like so. This stuff I'm going to keep and see if it dries and can be used as tinder. I know in the UK, if you have nettles and you do a similar process and you remove the inner pith, you can use that for tinder once it's dried. This stuff feels quite watery, so not convinced, but give it a go. And what you end up with is material like that that's had this pithy stuff here removed. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of that now and see how we end up.